My name is Sophia Mietz, and I apologize for the deep voice. I've been fighting off a cold. I'm recording this message because I crossed into a parallel universe. Once I learned the United States offered free health care and Congress and Senate had term limits, I knew something was up. So once I got home and realized I was in a parallel universe, I got out of my apartment fast and have been on the run ever since. What was I doing before all of this happened? Well, I was working on Project Nexus. I know that in my universe of origin, the government works extremely hard to nullify any individual who might compromise a mission, and so it seems reasonable to believe that this government would do the same, right? I've been on the run for about 3 weeks, and I just cannot seem to shake these men off.
Welcome to this Lost Tapes episode, where we dig into the sudden disappearance of Sophia Mietz, an astrophysicist who worked on Project Nexus, a classified government operation. The goal? Figure out how to travel forwards and back in time. By mistake, the 6 astrophysicists who worked on Project Nexus traveled into a parallel universe, and in doing so, they exposed the universe they traveled to a cosmic god known as Naz'ri-Dyn and its subjects. Since Sophia's arrival, anomalies have captured the attention of the denizens of this new planet in this new universe in which they found themselves in, and the gaze of Naz'ri-Dyn.
Project Nexus, what is it? Why did it have to exist? In my home universe, the Philadelphia experiment was a failure. When the ship teleported, it reappeared and the crew on board were fused into it. Our mission was to fix that little problem and create a time displacement field which would allow for safe travel through time. We had figured out that we can manipulate the fabric of time with gravity and essentially fold it in half. In doing so, we can go anywhere we want to at any point in time we desire. Unfortunately, that was the goal, but not the outcome. I worked with 5 other scientists: David Patel, Olivia Grace, Marcus Taylor, Ethan Ramirez, and last but not least, Emery Bates. I don't know what's happened to them, but maybe that's for the better. Once I arrived in this universe, I threw every piece of technology I had into a dumpster and have been wandering this city ever since. I've survived off scraps of food thrown away, and surmise that based on the newspapers, my colleagues have either been captured or already disposed of by the people who led the experiment. They're coming for me. I heard them as I walked down this alley.
Among the 6 astrophysicists who worked on Project Nexus and suddenly appeared in this parallel universe, Sophia Mietz seemed to have been the most underreported, as she left behind nothing more than a tape in which you are listening to. An article was published in a newspaper indicating that Sophia Mietz had perished upon arrival and used her alleged death as a cautionary tale for anyone who may be considering traversing from one dimension to another.
See, the thing is this. I've read the newspaper. There's eyeballs which materialize out of thin air like they're blinking open out of nothing. They stare at stuff, at people, and then they produce a blue portal when they leave. I haven't seen this, but it's in the newspaper. I have seen the eyes, but I haven't seen the portals. And this government, this crappy government, told everybody that I died because I traveled through one of those portals. And so now they're making up a story and just running with it. I don't think people die when they cross into a portal, because all 6 of us survived when we teleported here. But we don't know how we were teleported here. One day, Dr. Patel did something different. I wish I was paying closer attention, but he created a small bubble in space, and in between him and the bubble in space, an eyeball manifested. There was no portal, nothing. For some reason, when we left that room, everything was the same, but I had this weird sense of deja vu. Once I noticed that restaurants were different, the cities were slightly off, and the state of our government was actually stable, I knew something was wrong. I also knew that they would come for me. Men, clad in black suits, followed me into an alleyway, and I outran them. They tried to cut me off with a black SUV, but I turned around and climbed up a fire escape ladder. I know they want to kill me, and I won't go down without a fight.
Eyewitness accounts detail a slender young woman fleeing from men dressed in black, and video footage captured the moment the young woman knocked a man off of a rooftop. Once the videos were uploaded to the internet conspiracy groups hailed them as proof that the men in black were real, and this woman in question was Sophia Mietz, the sixth person on Project Nexus. This was proof that the government had lied about Sophia's death. As these videos began to go viral, the social media sites which hosted these videos experienced sudden outages, and at 3:45 p.m. on June 14th, the entire internet experienced a blackout. At first, it was rumored that World War III had started, and the internet blackout was caused by the Russians. But internet conspiracy theorists suggest that the internet was shut down so that the evidence supporting the Men in Black's existence could be erased. Once the internet was restored, an arrest warrant had been issued for Sophia Mietz, who had now arisen to the top of the FBI's most wanted list. Conspiracy theories interpreted this announcement as Sophia's triumph over the Men in Black and assumed she was still on the run.
I pushed that man over the edge, and this caused his partner to hesitate. That gave me enough time to grab the ladder behind me and descend down the fire escape. They tried to keep up, but they couldn't. I ran and ran until I saw a forest. Into the thicket I fled, and eventually I lost them. I took a breather and allowed a few weeks to pass. I hid in a park. I don't know what the name of the park is, but I found a nice spot to hide. It's near the ocean. And then I started reading the newspapers and saw what these people are doing to these eyes. I don't know what's wrong with human beings. These eyes have been showing up more and more, and then these wolf cobalt type creatures materialize and eat these eyeballs. I don't know what to make of any of this, and even worse than that, people, actual human beings, have started attacking these eyes and holding them up like trophies. These eyeballs, which haven't done anything else other than just watch us, they're getting attacked for social clout. I've seen it. How can this possibly bode well for us? How? What are these people thinking? If something can just blink into existence and float around, why would anyone think it's a good idea to kill it? Anyway, I kept changing my location in this park, but I must not have been moving enough because as I sat in this park alone at night, I saw at least a dozen police officer cars encircle it. They blocked off each exit and entrance, and I stood there as the black SUV slowly pulled onto the sidewalk and approached.
A. Max Brewer Memorial Parkway was blocked off, and the news reported a massive police presence at Sandpoint Park. Naturally, this attracted the attention of onlookers who recorded the altercation between Sophia Mietz and the United States government. Sophia was last seen sprinting toward Valcente Pavilion, but as she drew closer, a blue portal swelled into existence. This was the first recorded footage of someone passing through a portal, and once the portal closed, Sophia Mietz lay on the grass. However, it wasn't the same Sophia they were in pursuit of. This new Sophia came from a different universe and did not speak English. She understood French, and a translator was able to translate Sophia's message. She said, "I was cooking dinner for my family, and then all of a sudden, I was teleported here. I felt like I was getting pulled out to sea. How do I go home? Someone, please help me. I want to go back home."
I don't know what happened. I suddenly appeared in front of an oven. Soup. Chicken soup, it looks like, was boiling in front of me. I looked around the house. The murmur of children and the pitter-patter of an infant playing was beside me. Where am I? I glanced around and I saw a man I've never met, seeing children I didn't know. An infant looked at me and it smiled. I turned away from them and looked at the clock, the calendar. It's August 19th, 2032. When I left my home universe, it was 2024. The television looked similar to what we had. Actually, everything looked similar. The man sitting on the couch, he stood up and looked at me. He smiled and said something in French. I can't speak French. I took someone else's spot. Oh God, no. This isn't what I wanted to do. Oh no. Those are my kids. Wait, no. Those are her kids. I stole someone else's life. I smiled and blew the man a kiss, if only to keep living out this lie because I don't know what to do. I stirred the chicken soup and played pretend, because what else can I do? How do I get back to my home universe where I belong?
The Sophia Mietz who materialized at Sandpoint Park was seen only once and then never heard of again. Her sudden disappearance sparked outrage as internet conspiracists alluded to the fact that the Sophia they had detained was not the same Sophia who killed that government agent, and as such, the Sophia they arrested should be set free and be returned to her home universe. As far as anyone can tell, she had been found guilty of first-degree murder of a government official, and her whereabouts have yet to be discovered. As the denizens of this planet, of this universe, forgot about the 6 astrophysicists, and the eyes no longer came, and the cobalt creatures which hunted them forsook their planet, Naz'ri-Dyn blinked open and gazed upon the planet of vermin which killed its kind. It studied them, if only for a few seconds, and then blinked shut.
I'm thinking about running away. I cannot assume this life because I stole it. I didn't mean to. I didn't know that when we travel through one of those portals, we switch places with another version of ourselves. I didn't know that, but I'm going to find an eyeball and beg for it to return me to my home universe. I don't know how I'm going to find one, but I have to figure this out. I'm recording this because I still can't wrap my head around it. It's daunting, but this Sophia, she had a family. Me, back in my home universe, I had nothing. And I can't steal this. I can't. But I can't just up and leave an infant who thinks I'm her mom. I can't just leave behind children who think I'm their mom. I'm sorry, everybody, but I just want to go back home, but I don't know what else to do.